What's up, y'all? We back. We are back. This show is good. This show is good. 3 episodes and it's good. Like the pacing, I can't stress it enough. The pacing is so good with this show. The beginning fight scene, they didn't stretch it out. It was like maybe a minute or maybe two, and they kept it moving. We got multiple scenes. We got multiple different days. Well, not multiple. Well, it's multiple. That's two. 2 different days from the beginning to the end. Yeah, we got a good amount of content in this one episode. Baddies could never. But and then the girls are fire. Like every last one of the 2 new girls that they got, fine. But we got a lot of stories to get into. We got a lot of fights to get into. We got a lot to talk about. So before we do, if you're new, please subscribe. Please do that. Turn the post notifications on so you will be notified when I drop the videos. Also, if you're not new here, you already know. But if you are, thumbs up the video. Please do that. Drop a comment down below. Please do that. It helps with the engagement. It helps YouTube push out my videos, get me in the algorithm. That's what I want to do. Trying to get to 5K. We are getting super close to it now. I think I'm like almost a little close to 100 subscribers away. So let's try and do that by the end of the year. But enough of me ranting. Let's go get into this very, very entertaining episode. All right, so we get back with the continuation of LexiGold versus Chinx. Wasn't much going on. They both were swinging with their head turn. So when you swing with your head turn, it's never going to work the way it's supposed to. Especially when both of y'all are doing the same thing. They start swing grabbing. It's like they swinging and they're trying to grab and swinging trying to grab. Security ends up breaking them up while they're grabbing each other's hair. Lexi's pretty much saying, I got 50K to worry about. I'm not worried about focusing on you. I'm not trying to fight you the rest of the time. Like you can tell LexiGold, you can tell she really don't want to fight her, but she ain't no punk and she will actually fight. You can tell Chinx is the one that has the biggest issue with Lexi as opposed to Lexi having a big issue with her. So essentially Lexi's like, I'm tired of this. I'm ready to get this money at this point. But Joseline ends up saying no more, no fighting. Let's go to the pool party. I don't want y'all fighting there either. And she says it's time to go. So at the end of the day, it don't matter what y'all doing in this house. It don't matter how much beef y'all got going on. At the end of the day, you got to go get this money, a.k.a. get to this event. And she sent them all to go get dressed, and they did. No time wasted. Loved it. Loved it. No time wasted. That was like maybe 2 minutes, which means that lets you know that they actually have content because they're not stretching out scenes. Love it. But everybody goes and gets dressed. They show Stiff Face, Jigsaw, which all of y'all in the comments, thank y'all for saying it. That's the movie that she reminds me of. She scares the fuck out of me. Every time her face is on the screen, I was happy the last 2 episodes because she barely got any screen time. Jigsaw decided she wanted to get some screen time today. It was all through this episode. You know I was jump scared, but I'm going to get to her in a minute. She picked the fight with the wrong one. Well, we're going to get to it. But they showed them getting ready. When I say every last one of these girls, even Jigsaw knows how to dress. And when I say every single one of these girls, I'm talking about the new girls. They are all bad. Like, Joseline did a good job with picking these girls. Every last one of them are beautiful women. Like, they're beautiful women. They got their own style to them. I like them. I like watching them. They're good to watch. You want to watch beautiful women. And when you have them on the show like this, it's perfect. And it's funny because the beautiful women that I would consider are baddies are these type of women. They should be on baddies. The ones that they got on baddies are questionable. They're not baddies. And you know which ones I'm talking about if you've been watching me. But they head on out. Chinx, I noticed that she was still wearing the same dress that she literally just fought Lexi in. But for the most part, like I said, all the girls look good. They get on the bus. Raven's pretty much trying to make small talk, asking if they've ever turned up in Houston before, asking them what they expect about the experience, yada, yada, yada. Diamond then starts talking about how everybody needs to be on their best behavior because they're going to be representing Joseline. I said, that's true, but Joseline don't have no decorum either. But I'm like, okay, it's good that y'all at least want to go out and actually have a good time and not be out here fighting. So I'm like, that's good. But she then asked them if they think it's been quiet without Wet being around and asked them if they missed her. Some girls raised their hands, some didn't. But Ocean's ass kissing self decides that she wants to talk and saying that she loved Wet's energy, but she's all about respecting Joseline. What about respecting yourself? Like, if Joseline disrespects you, are you going to not respect yourself and defend yourself because you want to respect Joseline, because you want to stay on the show, you want to be in her good graces? Is that what you're going to do? That's why I can't get with Ocean's. Ocean's is weird. But she's saying, like, screaming outside in these white folks' neighborhood, it was doing too much. She then starts talking slick about Wet, saying that she don't bring much to the table besides a bunch of laughs, which is good. We need that. You might not like it, but we as As the viewers, we love it. Wet Wet is a fan favorite. Like, she's on it. That's why Joseline brought her back. Joseline knows people want to see Wet Wet. That's why she brought her back. But she also says, like, how are you going to conduct other ladies when you can't even keep yourself in check? You don't have good hygiene, yada, yada, yada. She's just talking shit. But Big Envi, we get her. She's talking about how she's grateful to be there. She's ready to turn up. Big Envi seems like she's very good energy. Got something to say about the end, but we'll get to it. But they start dancing and vibing out on the bus. Everybody's seemingly having good energy. Like, it's good to see that they actually can be around each other. Even if they fought, they can be around each other and still have a good time. But we get a scene with Joseline and that man Ballistic pulling up to the pool party at Sakai. Never been. I ain't been to Houston, so I don't know. Movie Bay might know. But they got a billboard out there promoting the show. But guess who was on the billboard with them? I'm like, why are you on the billboard? Because nobody is coming to see you. The Lizard, the CEO. Like, why? Ain't nobody coming to see you? But they get to the party. The party is packed. It's an actual party. Like, you could tell this is actually a party at a club that I don't think was probably promoted. Maybe it was promoted for Zeus, but I feel like a lot of these people were there just because they wanted to go out and have a good time. But the Lizard is there. He don't have his face blurred out, which I found interesting because he always got it blurred out on baddies because, you know, allegedly he be out there fucking the cast. Allegedly. But a party's going on. Lots of ass shaking, lots of twerking. Looks like some twerk contests going on. Everybody's having a good time. It's a vibe. So the girls end up arriving. Joseline ends up introducing the OGs first. They get out the bus first and go walking in. So they get up there. They start doing the Doom Cha Cha dance that they did last season. Joseline said they still up there fucking up the dance. I'm like, they spent the entire season. And these two girls that was doing it was the two annoying ones, Danny and Andrea. They went on tour with Joseline and y'all still fucking up the dance. But the new girls finally get out the bus. They look good. Like I said, Joseline introduces them and she noticed that they do look good. They look good. She's like, I'm very impressed. And I'm like, it's good that you actually want some women on the show, on your show, that actually look good. You need to go talk to your friend Natalie. But LexiGold, I got to talk about her. She thick. She pretty too, though. Like, all these girls is pretty. But Joseline, like I said, she likes how they look. They're in there dancing and stuff. Everybody's dancing around. All the girls actually wanted to really pull out tricks and stuff and actually show why they're there, but they couldn't do it because it was so packed. Because it's actually like a club. Like, it's actually real. Like a real club. It wasn't put on. Maybe it was put on, but it just looks like a real club environment. But Isis is sitting there deep throating a snake head first. I said, you wild, Isis. Wild. I love Isis, though. We're going to get to her, but she's probably my number one right now. Neek. I love me some Neek because she's fine as fuck. But Isis is a star. She's a star. We're going to get to her. But Joseline, she likes some of the ladies that are in the crowd as well and decides she wants to pick two of them to join the cabaret. We'll get to them in a minute. But Big Envy's talking about who is these bitches. Like, she ain't fucking with the fact that they can literally get on here and shake some ass and then get on the cabaret. She's not fucking with that. Later on, we're going to find out somebody else isn't as well. But the party's over. They head back to the crib. So we get back on the bus. The girls are feeling like they're represented well. Everything's going good. Raven ends up asking the girls if anybody has any issues they want to address before getting in the house. And guess who decides to open her mouth? Stiff face. I wanted to scream. I said, get that camera off of her. Off of her. I'm like, if anything, just do the shots where we don't see her head on. Or even side cuts. Like, just show the back of her head. Because I can't see it. But she decides to say that she was in a section when Joseline was trying to tell them to go. She was like, let's go. She then says that she tapped Isis to tell her, let's go. And Isis had said, stop pushing me. And she said, I never pushed you. This is your big issue with Isis? I'm like, so you're just trying to have a moment. Because, like, if that's a reason why you want to have an issue, that's crazy. But you want to have it with the wrong one. But you're going to find out later on. But her name is Kay, stiff face, as I'm going to call her right now until we move to the next name. But she said she wanted to confront her because she was starting shit. I said, how is she starting shit? Because you probably did push her and she said, don't push me. How's that starting shit? Seemed like you just had an issue with... I don't even think she had an issue with it. It just sounds to me like you want to be in Joseline's good graces. So you want to attach yourself to Danny and Draya because they've already been on the show. And you feel like connecting yourself with them is going to make you one of Joseline's... That's what I'm gathering from that. And I think she also thinks that's going to get her camera time. But Isis said I wasn't even picking. Like, no, she said, what did she say? I missed it. She said she don't know if Isis was in her feelings because of the fight that she had earlier with them two girls. But she said she felt like she took it out on her. Isis said I wasn't picking on you. I just said don't push me. Like, damn, don't push me. Valid. I would have said the same thing. But Stiff Face is making something out of nothing. As she's talking, I could barely hear what she was saying. I don't know if y'all could, but I could barely hear what she was saying. She talked like she got so much helium in her voice, but they going back and forth. Isis is not tripping about it. You can tell just looking at her energy, she don't really care. It's like it's nothing to her. But it's clear Kay got a bigger issue because she wants to have camera time. Like she wants camera time. But Envi Erica, she gets up and adds her input in. I was trying to make out what she was saying, but I couldn't hear what she was saying either. But Stiffface gets up as well. Neek ends up asking Isis and Kay if they cool or they're gonna fight. Kay ends up saying if Isis wants to fight, she will. You don't want to fight her. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But Isis gets in her confessionals and calls her Jigsaw. I was dying laughing that she actually called her Jigsaw in like real time because we was talking about it. But she says that they cleared up the issue in the club, and now Jigsaw is saying that she wants to fight, but keeps standing up and then sitting down and then standing up and sitting down. Well, she said she didn't want to fight, but she kept standing up and sitting down. And obviously Isis, being about that life, she knows when somebody's standing up and they quote unquote have an issue with you, that could go to the way of fighting. So Isis ain't no punk, and she ain't stupid. But she said she washing her hands with Jigsaw, who was now twerking on her. I'm like, so what was the point? But Neek ends up saying, because they started talking too. They then started talking about who shouldn't be there. Neek says as far as dancing, she don't know who really can dance because anybody can shake their ass. I said, that's true. But she got this pink wig on, looking good. But she said that she don't want to lose Jayla and Des. Those are her two girls in the house. She don't really care who else outside of them goes home. Those is her two, clearly. But they then ask Andrea who she's thinking. And Raven then says, Spicy Monii, you got to turn up a little bit more. And this is the BBW, the Latina BBW. She ends up saying that she gonna do her. I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. I said I respect that because like I said, I'm the same way. I'd say like me, if I was to do a show like this, I don't feel like I would be as entertaining because I'm not gonna force myself to be in front of the camera. I'm not gonna start no fights. I'm going to sit there and mind my business until somebody decides to activate me. If you decide to activate me, then you're gonna get what you probably was looking for. But I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to force myself to be an extra version of myself. I'm not going to do that. So I respect where she was coming from. And she said at the end of the day, I'm going to be myself. If y'all have an issue with it, keep your thoughts to yourself. Simple. I respect it. And she said, if y'all don't like how chill I am, then you don't have to. It just is what it is. I said, I respect you. I respect that. But Raven then says, but you're the first BBW on the show. I said, Big Envy's right there. She also BBW, but okay. And she's like, well, you need to represent. She then says, I do. I just don't have to act out. I'm doing me. I said, exactly. Exactly. But then again, you think it too is like this type of show, you kind of do have to do a little bit more. But I respect her for staying true to herself. But Raven then says, well, doing you, sometimes you got to do a little bit extra. I'm like, probably to stand out. But Monii ends up saying, like, if I get let go, I get let go. It is what it is. It is what it is. And I respect it. And she said, like, she don't like how Raven is trying to like big dog her, trying to like talk down to her. And she's now checking Raven on the bus, talking about like who you, and then Raven ends up saying too, who you getting base with? Like, where's this base coming from? I said, Raven, ain't nobody scared of you because you got choke slammed by Joseline. I'm pretty sure she knows that you did. She ain't scared of you. And she's 10 times, well, I ain't gonna say she's 10 times. She about 3 times the size of Joseline. I was about to say 10 times. That would have been so rude. And she said, but I was rooting for you. That's Raven talking about that to Spicy Monii. She said, I don't need any of y'all's votes. Like, it's up to Joseline. I said, exactly. Like, you can root for me all you want to, but at the end of the day, it's not your decision. If Joseline want to send me home, she gonna be the one to send me home, regardless if you like me or not. But Raven says, okay, we'll see how that works out. So we get to the eliminations. They're back at the house now. They're lined up on the stairs, waiting for Joseline. So Joseline walks in. They're all applauding her. Joseline look good. She looks clean. Like, you could tell she's sober in this moment. She looks clean. Like, you could tell when somebody is not, like, doused in a bunch of liquor, like, just drinking all day long. You can just tell when somebody's either drinks all day long, abuses liquor, smokes, your lips be black, your eyes start to get a little, and then you just look either tired or you look dirty. That's just my opinion. But the 2 new girls, I noticed them. They were standing there with the girls. I'm like, okay, so they're already here. So we find out who they are, Hennessy and Rosé, which I found funny. The 2 girls are named Hennessy and Rosé, named after drinks. How ironic. And I'm like, maybe that's their dancer or stripper names. But who knows? But they're pretty names though. If you name somebody Hennessy, knowing that there's liquor called Hennessy, that's one thing. But Rosé, I like Rosé. But Hennessy, she's from the Bronx. In her confessional, she got this red wig that looked like it's just being matted and shit. But she's an exotic and international dancer, so I'm assuming that she dances overseas probably as well. But she says that she's gonna do whatever she gonna say whatever to whoever. Like basically, she got a mouth on her and she ain't afraid to use it. Joseline then asked them if they're gonna fight for their spot or they're gonna walk away. Rosé says, "I'm here to win. At the end of the day, I'm here to win. I want that money." We find out that she's from Houston. She's 21 years old. I said, you look pretty mature for 21. She look like she's about a good 24, 25. But she said that she's known for her humor and she ain't scared to speak her mind. She ain't lying because she spoke it later on. But Joseline lets them know that she got to get rid of 4 girls. She said she's sad, but a couple of y'all got to go home. Envi Erica's not feeling it. She don't like it. Like, she feel like we all should be here, essentially. But Joseline then asked Isis about her issue with Draya. Or her and Draya's issue. Isis then says she asked Draya if she had a problem and did she want to square up, and they did. Draya's punk weird ass decides that she wants to say, "That's a lie, you pressed me." She ain't pressed you. She just asked you a question because y'all did get into it the night before. Why would she not address that when y'all just got into it the night before? You was talking tough. She was talking tough. So essentially at the end of the day, I need to check your temperature. That's pretty much what she was doing. So Draya sitting there trying to yell. Isis says she ain't about to yell. You can tell Isis is, and that's how you already know. The type of person, the one that's always yelling and loud is the one that really ain't about what they want you to believe. It's kind of like smoke and mirrors. Like they want to talk loud, bark loud to make you think that they really about that life. It's a defense mechanism. They don't want you to hit them. They want you to be scared of them because they're loud. Whereas the ones that's chill and quiet, that don't do too much, are the ones that really got that shit. And we found out which one really got that shit, even though we already knew. But we're going to get to it. I'm building up to it. So, they showed a flashback. Both of them kind of had similar hostile energy. I would say, I wouldn't even want to say Isis's was hostile. She just was checking the pressure. Dani's was hostile because, not Dani, Draya's was hostile because she knew what Isis was doing. Like, she knew Isis was checking her temperature. Draya don't want to stand down, so essentially she knew she had to fight at one point. But Dani's weird ass, ain't nobody even talking to you. She get into talking about what the hell makes you think you gonna be able to keep coming to her and I'm not gonna do anything about it. You did nothing anyways. You stood up talking about some square up and she did you in. She cracked you in your shit. Like she cracked you down. So what are you doing, Dani, besides running your mouth? But Isis says she understands you standing up for your girl because I do the same thing. If my sister was here, if one of my girls was here, I'd do the same thing. But they got their ones, essentially. We got our ones at this point, so what are you even talking about? But Dani's punk ass is in her confessional saying Isis clearly ain't gonna do shit and she ain't about that life. You found out that she about that life. You found out on the bus, but you got reminded in your face. Which I'm glad it happened. Because like I said it in the recap yesterday, or last week, that doing it on the bus, you're gonna be at a disadvantage. Do it when you on ground where you can really show what you really about. And she did, but we're gonna get to it. But Draya is sitting there talking about Isis on camera time and they giving it to her. No. But Dani and Draya, they trying to tag up on her at this point. They trying to yell and overtalk her. Yelling and overtalking somebody does not mean you win an argument. I don't know why people don't understand that. I don't even do that. Like if I raise my voice, I'm gonna hit you. If it gets to the point where I have to yell, I'm going to hit you. Like I'll argue with you, but I'm not raising my voice. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But the minute you get me to that point where I'm raising my voice, I'm hitting you. Like I'm hitting you. But they're doing all that. Dani is talking about how is it Dani that said this? It might have been Draya. Said how like jealousy is oozing off of Isis. Isis ain't jealousy, y'all. Like what do y'all have to be jealous of? Like when you look at the way they looked compared to the rest of the other girls up there, Dani was wearing something that looked like something out of a Beyonce catalog for a costume for one of her backup dancers, which I think Isis even said to her. And Isis literally says here as I'm reading it, this was next in line, bitch, you are wearing a cheetah dress. Like, who is jealous of you? Draya looked a fool too. Draya looked like a little girl. Like, who is jealous of you? But Draya then turns around, starts twerking and talking about something, and you're mad, you're mad. She's not. You're the one that's mad. You're the one screaming. She's not mad. But Rosé is standing there amused. Joseline wants to know why the two idiot twins, Joseline's amused too, she laughing. She like, why do the two idiot twins feel the way that they do towards Isis? And Andrea walks up, or says that she walked in and didn't say anything to her, and Isis put her bonnet on and stood up on her. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. I said, let's tell the truth now. You was on that kind of like hostile, low, passive-aggressive, rah-rah energy, which is why she stood up on you. She kept asking you questions about why you felt the way you felt, if you still feel the way that you felt, and you kind of talked to her like you was about that action, so she got up. Why would she not get up? But Isis said, but you ain't put your braids up? Like, you didn't put your braids up. It's kind of signaling to me that you wanted to fight, which is true. But Draya sitting there trying to deflect, asking if anybody else heard Draya say anything to Isis. And Jigsaw, looking for camera time, decides that she wants to pipe up and say, no, she started to talk about Isis. Isis said, Jigsaw, shut up. Neek was laughing. I was laughing. They start going back and forth. Joseline then asked Jayla, did she have anything to do with the fight? And Jayla said she hit Andrea. She said, I hit Andrea because she jumped in Isis and Danny's fight. She said, I'm from Texas. I don't do that jumping shit. I said, I fuck with you. I knew I fucked with her before, but I really fuck with you now. And she said something else later on. But Joseline ends up saying, asking if they're friends, if Jayla and Isis are friends. Jayla said, no, I ain't friends with her. The only ones I got loyalty to is Neek and Dez. Jayla then says, like, she was being ganged up on, and I don't like that weak shit. I don't like that jumping shit. Catch her one-on-ones and keep it pushing. And she said, if y'all want to jump, I'm going to jump in. I said, see, eye to eye. I say the same shit every time I'm on here talking about fighting. When somebody's jumping, like, I would do the same thing. Even if it's not my fight, even if I don't have a connection with you or whatever, if I say you getting jumped, I'm jumping in. It just is what it is. I don't respect that. That's the most punk ass shit that you could ever do. But Joseline respects it as well. Danny and Dre are now trying to co-sign Joseline too, talking about they respect it too. But Dre is sitting there popping in her mouth, just sitting there popping her mouth. But Draya ends up asking Joseline, when has she ever known her not to fuck with somebody? Joseline says never. I said, okay, wet. You just was not fucking with wet. Like, shut up. But Joseline then asked Isis what's her birthday, and they both share the same birthday. It's on November 3rd. They're both Scorpios. I already knew Movie Bae was gonna be jumping because Isis is Movie Bae's favorite. You already know Movie Bae is a Scorpio, so it just made sense. They was destined. And Movie Bae already know I was gonna say this. But Draya says that she's the fakest bitch. Talking about Isis, she's the fakest bitch she's ever met. Joseline said, if she's fake, then I'm fake. You think I'm fake? I started laughing. But Draya is now trying to defend her case now because Joseline was dead ass serious when she said it. And you know Draya don't want to be on Joseline's bad side, so now she's trying to defend her case. But Isis is basically ready to fight at this point. And Joseline tries to squash their beef. And Joseline says, you got so much beef with her because she's a Scorpio and you're an Aquarius. You either love each other, like these type of signs either love each other or hate each other. So Draya, still clearly bothered, screaming and shit. Isis is literally clocking her, talking about how much she licks Joseline's ass and whatever because she paying her. Draya is talking about how she always stepped for Joseline even before she started paying her. I said, is that supposed to be a flex? Like, okay. But like I said, Isis is calm this whole time. Even when she going back and forth with her, she's still calm. Like, she ain't really screaming, none of that shit. Draya is loud as fuck, bothered as fuck. But Isis then says, Joseline snapped on y'all because y'all look dusty, y'all terrible at dancing. Everything she's saying is true. Everything she's saying is true. But they're sitting there twerking and dancing because they're bothered. You have to do all that stuff. When you do all that stuff, you're bothered. You're bothered. But Isis is now talking about how they fuck up the choreography and everything, which Joseline confirmed literally in the episode. They still fucking up the choreography. But Danny and Draya, they start trying to tag team again with the mouse, screaming. Literally screaming at this point. Isis then sits down. She starts taking off her jewelry. Starts taking off them shoes. You know what time it is. While she's doing that, the two little punks get down there where Joseline is on each end, standing there with their heels on, trying to act like they tough, but both of them was scared. You can't tell me they weren't. But she then steps down. Isis steps down and said, which one want it? At this point, y'all doing all this, I'm tired of hearing it. Let's get to doing this. So she doing over there. Danny's sitting over there talking about she learned Spanish. I'm like, yeah, you over there stalling because you don't want it. I said, but you was the same bitch in the damn confessionals talking about something. Isis ain't really about that life. She don't really want it. But now she down here pressing you. If you was really about that life like you claimed you was, you would have ran up on her. but you didn't do nothing. She asked, who wants this fade? You standing over there, she didn't do nothing. Draya sitting over there saying, if you want this problem, show me. Be careful what you ask for. Isis got over there and started rocking it. Boom with that right. Boom with that right. Draya turning her head and everything as she's doing it, hitting her clean. Draya's only move is taking somebody and trying to put him in a headlock. She did get down to getting Isis for a little smidge. It wasn't no tight headlock like she got on that bus. Because she might have had it for like maybe 2 seconds, but Isis got up out of that thing. And when security came over there, Isis still had a grip on her. Isis was rocking her to the point where she split her lip. Boy, I died laughing. I was screaming. We're going to get to it. But Dani's sitting there cheering. As they was fighting and stuff, Dani's talking about something. Stop playing with her. Stop playing with her. Stop playing with who? You mean Isis? Because your girl didn't do nothing. She ain't do nothing. She got cracked and got a split lip because of it. I'm like, be for real. But Isis won that one. Easy. Won that one. Big Envi was loving it. She loved Isis' performance. She was like, she went over there and fucked her up, which she did. Draya's mouth is leaking at this point. Leaking. Red and everything. Blood, everything. I was cracking up laughing. I said, that's karma. But everybody's saying Big Isis because it is Big Isis. But Draya's whack ass. She then starts spitting. What is with these women on the show spitting? Like, I can't stand it. That's the most disgusting gutter butt shit that you could ever do. Talking about something nobody is scared of her. I said, you need to be scared of Isis. You need to. But her shit is still leaking. The lip is split. Isis is like, I need some ice for my hand. Draya goes over to the side. Joseline is telling her, like, because she over there getting medical attention. Joseline telling her, you need to go to the hospital because your shit is split. You need to get it sewed up. We'll pay the bill. Draya talking about something. I'm not going. Joseline said, you either go or you go home. Exactly. Like, go. And you can tell, like, I'm glad Joseline is at least worrying about, at least in this scene she is, worrying about their health. Like, that could be a liability if you don't take certain things like this situation, certain things like this. If you don't take certain things, medical issues seriously, that could become an issue for you in the court of law if you're dealing with somebody who wants to go pursue legal actions. Because if something happened on the show and they didn't do anything medically and say it was on a contract or whatever, you can literally go to court and either sue or press charges, all that type of stuff. But that's what Joseline's saying. Draya obviously agrees to go home, agrees to go to the hospital because she don't want to go home. But Draya is claiming that she bit herself, talking about she didn't know Isis was left-handed. Isis hit you with her right hand, and you didn't bite your lip. She split your shit. I'm like, be for real. But Joseline was cracking me up about the split lip. She was cracking up about it too. But she goes back to the girls. They were sitting over there chilling. Wait, no, she didn't get to them yet. The girls are sitting over there chilling. Isis is over here getting attention with the security and stuff. But Jigsaw decides to go over there to Isis. You don't see it, but we hear it. Isis said, hey, Jigsaw, let me tell you one thing. Don't you ever in your life insert yourself in some shit. And next thing you know, you hear she slapped the shit out of her. And Isis said that she brought her plastic ass over here to say something to me. She said, she said she cut her off saying that your hand is broke. Jigsaw cut Isis off saying that your hand is broke. Isis said, but my left one ain't, and it slapped her with it. I love Isis, yo. Like, she is my favorite right now. She's my number one right now. But Joseline's now checking up on Isis. And Kay's sitting there trying to jump in now behind security. But Kay's sitting there talking about Isis wanted camera time so bad. No, you wanted camera time so bad. You knew Isis was getting the camera time, so you decided to pick a fight, pick an issue with her, even though y'all squashed it in the club. Then you started twerking on her, squashing it on the bus to then bring it back up again here. You the one that's thirsty for camera time. But Neek said that Jigsaw should have stayed on them steps because Isis smacked the shit out of her. So we got to confirm again that she smacked the shit out of her. I wish we would have saw it. But Joseline tells Isis that she and Draya got to go get medical attention because she's tired of them fighting and they're not going to fight no more. But she said that she's here for them. She used to do the same stuff, all that fighting all the time, even though you still do. But sometimes I got to let it go. I said, okay, that's mature, Joseline. I'm glad that you said it. Hopefully you can take heed to your own advice. But she ends up saying after all that, she got to get ready for the elimination. So Joseline says Draya got her whole lip. She got a hole in her lip. She goes back and tells the girls that. But she ends up asking what happened to Jigsaw. Jigsaw says she slapped her out of nowhere when she was looking for her vape. And Joseline's laughing as it's happening. Joseline's like me. I couldn't take it seriously either. But Jigsaw claims that Isis was mad because she took her for Draya and slapped her for no reason because she did nothing to her. I said, you was pressed for an issue. You had it coming. But Jocelyn's still laughing. Jigsaw saying that she didn't start anything. Jigsaw said Isis was the one that started it. Jayla and somebody else said, no. You could tell Jayla was about to take up for Isis. But Jocelyn then starts asking the girls why they should stay. Spicy Monii, she gets to her. She said, you've been too quiet. Like, I need you to start doing something. Like, I didn't even know you was here, essentially. And she's saying, like, you got to represent for the big girls. And Diamond ends up saying Raven tried to tell her that, but she got mad. Monii says, no, I didn't get upset. I just didn't like her approach. You trying to talk to me any kind of way, it's not going to happen. I respect it. But Raven ends up saying that she just wanted her to give more. She should be more turned than her. Big Envi. She says she a real ass bitch. She's a vibe. She from the rack. We know she from Chicago. She said that she was fucking with some nigga that had gotten her car shot up. She almost lost her life. Being there is a blessing for her. Joseline asked if she's still with him, and she says no, obviously not. She left him the same day. Good for her. But Diamond ends up saying that she didn't get to stay last season because she was pregnant, yada, yada, yada. Hennessy, she says that she got a lot of potential and she want that 50K. I'm laughing because these new girls' names, like their names was cracking me up. I'm like, they literally are drink names. But Joseline then asked Danny, but she didn't. Joseline asked Danny, and what did I write? Joseline asked Danny, but said that she don't have. Oh, Joseline asked Danny what her reason for being there was and why she should still stay. But she said, don't say nothing to make me cuss you out because you always fucking up a conversation that we have when I talk to you. She then says, I almost threw you out earlier because you said the young lady that Dre got into a fight with, which I'm assuming she's talking about Isis, was Joseline's friend. And she said, why would that even come out your mouth? Is that true? I want to know if that's true or not. But Danny says, because I'm dumb. Yeah, you are dumb. But not only that, you're a punk and you like to let people walk all over you like you letting Joseline walk all over you. But Joseline said, I should cut you right now. She said, you're immature. That is true. Raven's watching Joseline going in on Danny, and she says in her confessionals, I already know me and Diamond are next. And like clockwork, Joseline moved to them too. Said, you, Danny, Raven, Diamond, all are, and Draya are all immature. I feel like y'all the most immature ones on the show. Where's the lie? She said, it's time for y'all to grow up. Like, essentially, it's time for y'all to grow up. But Joseline says, like, because y'all back, y'all think y'all the big dogs. No, she said, y'all back like the dog bitches y'all are. Basically saying y'all are some lap dogs, which they are. And you know she knows they are because she loves the fact that they are. She loves the fact that they do anything she asks them to do. But she says, don't think that you're safe because I'm sick of y'all bitches walking around here acting like y'all cute and not putting in the effort. That was real. But she says that she couldn't wait to read them bitches fulfilled. Joseline says, why the fuck you looking at me like this? Because Danny's sitting there looking at her. But she ain't looking at it disrespectfully. But Joseline's just pretty much trying to hoe her. And she succeeded at doing so. Because Joseline said, don't you dare stare at me like that. Don't you ever look me up and down. And this bitch, Danny, talking about something, yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Joseline. Joseline then tells Raven, look me in the eye. And she said, look me in the eye. Don't you be looking me up and down either. Joseline is hoeing them. And they literally are letting her do it. But she now gets to the elimination. Spicy Monii, she told her she got to go. Because she ain't shown her anything. She walks off. She said, because I can't be somebody that I'm not. And I respect it. Like, if you're going to go home for being you. If that's what you are and that's what you're going to do that. Be you. But she said she cut her life off and put her job to the side. I'm like, what did she really do for real? Like, did she not dance for real? But Des said that she's nervous and her feet are hurting, which lets you know they've been standing up there for a minute. Fetish gets eliminated. I actually wanted to see more of her, but she gone. She wanted to stay. They literally showed her saying, I want to stay so I can show her that I want to be in the cabaret twice. They showed her in the confessionals and then they played it again after she said it twice. I don't know if y'all caught it, but I did. But she then says it can't be 20 of them there. Oceans then says in her confessionals it doesn't make sense to get rid of the girls who worked tooth and nail to get here. So essentially she's going to start targeting these two new girls. She's calling two dusty bitches that's shaking their ass and pussy at Sakai to get on the show. But I'm like, but did you not just shake your ass and your pussy to get on here? Like, what are they doing that was different than you? Besides not doing an audition tape. But Joseline then brings Wet Wet back in. Thank God. She's like, somebody's outside. She pulls her in. Wet Wet comes in. I'm so excited to see her. But Des says that she wants Wet Wet to go because she brings nothing but drama. I'm like, she's entertaining. Like, that's what we want to see. But Joseline lets her know that 2 girls had gotten sent home and 2 girls went to the hospital. She then asked Wet Wet, why are you here? Wet Wet says that she wants to apologize, which I don't know why she is, but okay. But she says that she was wrong and she got her own personal issues that she was dealing with outside of the house. Joseline was asking, like, why, what happened? And then she lets her know it was her son. Joseline was very, very mature and reasoning with her. And says she understands you're a great mom. She gives her a hug. I said that was a nice moment. But Diamond said she loves Wet Wet. She got a soft spot for her as well. She could tell that she was going through some stuff because she looks exhausted and tired. But Joseline pretty much tells Wet Wet she still got to respect her. And what she says, she can't just walk up on her and disrespect her. I said, same thing applies to you too as well, Joseline. You can't do the same thing to her. But Joseline ends up telling the rest of the girls that they can stay, so nobody else is getting eliminated. Wet Wet's cheering them on. They're excited as well. Joseline tells Wet Wet to join them, but she makes it a point to tell Wet Wet, you're not competing for this $50K. Wet Wet drops to the floor and her wig fell off. Everybody was laughing. I was laughing. Joseline was laughing. It was funny. This is why we need Wet Wet. But we get the last part of this episode, which is the next day. We get a scene, which is why, like I'm telling y'all, they are moving this along. No scene is too dragged out. And we get multiple scenes in a day. We get 2 different days in one episode. They doing the show right. But we get Raven, Big Envy, and Oceans. They're sitting around upstairs. Raven's asking them how they're feeling. Envy says that they've been practicing. Oceans ends up saying that she feels the 2 new girls don't deserve to be here. So she's still on that shit. Oceans then says that they worked very hard to get here, doing the audition tapes, all that type of stuff, just for these 2 girls that shook ass at a pool party to come in here. And says, like, what makes y'all so special to join the cast? What makes you so special? They can be there too. If Joseline wanted them to be there, they can be there. What? But Draya's whack ass, LexiGold and Neek come walking in there. Lexi ends up saying that she feels that it's not fair for them to come in here because we went through this process and they didn't go through it. Neek's not fucking with it. She says that she don't feel that they deserve to be here either. Draya's busted lip ass talking about she feels solid in her position. Basically, she ain't really worried about it. But the new girls, they come walking in. Rosé says she's happy to be there. Raven ends up saying, do y'all feel like y'all deserve to be here? They both say, yeah, we do deserve to be here. Hennessy is catching the energy from the girls, which I'm glad she can. But Rosé ends up saying, I hope y'all don't think I'm here to kiss anybody's ass. I'm here to get some money, and that's that. I said, let them know. Let them know. But Neek ends up asking if they auditioned for the show. They said no, and they said, Neek said, so y'all didn't even think about even trying to be here. Ocean says, I don't even feel like y'all should even be here because y'all didn't even try out to be here. Oceans is pressed. Like, she's super duper pressed. I feel like she's the most pressed out of everybody. But Hennessy said, like, we didn't audition. Ocean said, y'all should have worked as hard as us to get here. Just twerking at a pool party shouldn't have gotten y'all here. Rosé then says, well, guess what? That little that we did at that pool party got us here. Basically saying, like, you don't want me here, but I'm here. Deal with it. I'm like, I'm glad she's standing on it like that. But Big Envy gets up. She says, y'all are beautiful. Y'all bad as hell. Y'all seem sweet, but y'all got to get up. Takes her wig off. Throws the wig off. Oceans goes for Hennessy. Big Envy was going towards Hennessy, but then switched to Rosé. Neek gets off the couch to then jump in as well, which made me mad. Because that's my woman in my head. That's my woman. I don't like that you did that, Neek. I hope you don't continue to do that. You get a strike for that. But she did back off. She did stop, which I'm glad she did. But you get a strike off of that. You still bad as fuck, but you get a strike for that. But she stepped back when it was just Envy and Rose fighting. But Raven says, no jumping, no jumping. This shit is too ghetto. I said it is getting ghetto. But next week, Oceans is now fighting both of the girls. Envy ends up switching to fighting Hennessy. Isis is back. Diamond ends up addressing Jigsaw about how she let Isis slap her and do nothing about it because apparently Jigsaw didn't do nothing. She was trying to jump. She was trying to get Isis behind security, but when there was no security in the next week's episode, she apparently didn't do anything. Jayla was sitting next to Jigsaw and started tagging her. Envy Erica, was tearing that ass up on that damn grass. So she was face shots. She's swelling up that face a little bit more. Me and Movie Babe was laughing about this scene. It was so funny, but it's not funny. Joseline makes me mad because Wet Wet was like playing with Joseline, like kind of like doing what a housemaid would do. And kind of like took the little duster and put it up in Joseline's face. Why she slapped the fuck out of Wet Wet? It was so mean and rude, but it was so funny. But that's all I got for y'all. 40 minutes, man. You see, when we got something to talk about, I can actually get on here and talk, even though I'm running out of breath, as y'all can tell. But if you got this far, have not already thumbs up the video, do that for me. If you've gotten this far and have not subscribed, do that for me as well. Like I said, we're trying to get to 5K. And most importantly, drop y'all's comments down below. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Drop them down below, and I will see y'all next. Well, I'll see y'all in the comments, but I'll see y'all next week. Peace.